We're getting recorded. Okay, cool. We're being recorded now, so it's officially starting. I want to welcome everyone to our military, to a senior night, basically, in the military part of it. We have several of the branches represented tonight. They're going to be able to answer any questions, specific questions you may have. They're also going to give you just a little spill on who they are and what their branch represents and what they can offer to your senior. Of course, I am Sergeant Major Myers, the senior instructor for JRDC at Person High School, and I probably know your students. The names all look familiar, and they know that they can talk to me about joining the military, but it's always good to have the experts with us, and so we have the opportunity to do that this evening. So in no specific order, because I don't want to be considered being biased, but as I'm looking at the screen from left to right, looks like Sergeant Richardson is first, then Ford is next, and then after that is Porter. So we'll go in that order. Just give yourself a little welcome. My name is, and then give us a little spill about your service, and then some of the things you offer. And then after that, we'll get right into some questions if we have them. Sergeant Richardson.
All right. I was like, no, don't pick me, but you picked me. So how's everyone doing this evening? My name is Sergeant Richardson. I am the secondary recruiter for Person High School. I've been recruiting out here in Durham for the last year and a half. Been pretty successful at Person. That's actually one of our best schools. So I'm hoping we can continue that this year with COVID and everything. I've been in the Army for 7 years. Today is actually my Army birthday. I'm going to go celebrate that this evening. My job in the Army is a biomedical equipment technician. We have over 150 jobs, so we're not all combat like people may think we are. We have so much to offer, free college, the benefits, it's all there. Whether your son or daughter decides to do, 20 years or 3 years, at least they can say that they have that experience and, that college education to back them up in the civilian side. We're literally just here to answer all you guys' questions. There's no crazy questions. We deal with them all. So yeah, don't be afraid to just let it out. That's it. Cut.
All right, thank you. Ford, it's on you.
Hoo-yah, hoo-yah. How y'all doing, Person High School? This is I'm Petty Officer Ford. I'm the Navy recruiter for your school. I've been recruiting in the area roughly 3 years. What I do in the Navy, I'm an aviation boatswain mate handler. So I'm pretty much a plane director for the Navy. So I launch and recover aircraft for the ships on board for the great U.S. Navy. Having brain fart, my bad. Yeah, I'm here to help answer questions about the Navy and all that type of stuff. Questions about boot camp, the ASVAB, whatever y'all have questions about. That's what I'm here for, and that's all I got.
All right, thank you. And saving the best for last. Let's get that Marine in here.
Good evening. My name is Staff Sergeant Porter. I'm been the Person High School Marine Corps recruiter for about 8 months now, so pretty fresh. Been in the Marine Corps about 13 years as a helicopter mechanic. So I've worked on MB-22s and also worked on their presidential helicopters. So had a good time out there. Got to do a lot of traveling. And I would say the easiest and fastest way to contact me is going to be through Marines.com. With Marines.com, your student will actually be able to go on there and hit request for more information. And I'll usually get that information for the student the next morning when I come to work, so I can call them in the morning, reach out to them. And what we'll be discussing is a time where we can sit down and talk about their future, find out what they want to do, and show them how the Marine Corps can enhance that plan for them, whether it be educational opportunities or leadership and management skills. So that's all I have for now.
All right, thanks a lot. And before we get into we have some time left. Before we get into a question and answer, I just want to highlight some of the important things that I know about you all, three of you, but also that I heard from your briefing. The job experience, the college, those things are there. Porter talking about working on Marine One, right? That's the helicopter that is ridden in by the president. And then Ford didn't talk about it, but when he's directing those aircraft on that ship, I mean, I'm sure he's been to several different ports, different places all over the world that he can talk about. And so that's one of the things that the military is going to be able to open up and offer for your student, is being able to not only become a leader, but no matter what branch you choose, if they choose one, but also to be able to grow as a person and see different things, and be able to have a better understanding of all of the different cultures and the way the world works together. So that's just one thing I wanted to highlight. We'll open it up to any questions specific to any branch. Just ask your question and someone will jump on it. Or if you don't feel comfortable talking, you can always just type it in. We're here for you. Well, either Mike, I can't unmute you, or okay, here we go. Looks like we have a question.
This is for the Army recruiter. How many years at a time can you join? Is it like 3 years or 4 years, or how does it work nowadays?
So our enlistment contracts range from 2 to 6 years. You can sign up for a 2-year option, a 3-year option, 4-year option, and so on. That'll depend on the job that you choose. So certain jobs have the 2-year option. So for example, my job, biomedical engineering, that was a 6-year enlistment option because the amount of training that I went through and my job training was 10 months long. So if you have a job that has a lengthy time limit, then the Army's going to want that time back. So, but yeah, you can sign up for either 2 to 6 years, both active and reserve.
And so after your active duty contract is up, you do active reserve for 4 years, or?
So it's something called the IRR. So everyone's going to sign a contract for 8 years. So if you are serving 4 active duty years and you decide to get out like on an honorable discharge, if something were to happen like war or etc., the Army calls those people back first that are still within that time frame. But once you get out of that 8-year mark, then you are completely done.
So you're on the IRR for 8 years after your active duty?
No. So the 8 years starts as soon as you go to basic training.
Okay.
Yep. So if you sign up for a 4-year contract, it's gonna say 8 years in your contract. But if you decide to get out after 4 years, then you're in the IRR for the remainder of that time.
Right, I understand. Okay.
Yep.
How long is boot camp?
Boot camp is 10 weeks long, so roughly 2.5 months. And of course, job training after that is going to depend on what you choose.
Right. And where is it at?
So that's also going to depend on what job you choose. We have 4 basic training locations. We have Fort Benning, Georgia, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Anything else? Keep them coming.
That's all I can think of right now.
Okay. Well, if it pops up later, just give me
All right.
Fort Benning is the best place to go to basic training. I'm just saying, for the infantry people.
I mean, sure. I mean, the best place. That's the only place y'all go to.
Sergeant Major, if Alexis has chosen her job yet?
No, I don't think she's chosen it yet. I know she was looking at several different ones, but I don't think she's made a decision yet.
Okay, because that'll determine on which boot camp she goes to.
Right.
If she decides to do that.
And I think I think the thing with her is that her ASVAB score puts her in a position where she has options.
Okay.
But I'll talk to her tomorrow.
Okay.
So, Major, do you know who she's working with? Is it Sergeant Morris? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I remember her from the table setup, but
Yes, Miss Sasser.
No, it's actually Mr. Sasser. How you doing, Sergeant Major?
Hey, what's going on? Well, it says Julie, so.
Well, yeah, I'm on her computer. It's all good.
I believe I know who you are.
Yeah. When I was in, they offered delayed entry. I actually did my boot at Fort Leonard Wood. Do they still offer delayed entry into the Army? And if so, what's the time frame? How far out can you delay entry?
okay. So if your daughter were to join, right now, she would be in the delayed entry program until she shifts to basic training. The maximum time limit is 365 days.
So, okay.
So yeah, she'll finish her senior year and everything, and then probably in the summer, that's when she'll go to basic training.
But it's actually a he. I was just when I was in, I couldn't. No, that's fine. I couldn't remember if it was a 1 year, if it was over that. I couldn't remember what it was.
Yes, sir. It's 360.
All right,
He's
thank
still
you.
at football practice, ain't he?
Dude, he has been struggling with this COVID thing.
Oh yeah.
I'll have him get in touch with you.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Sergeant Major.
Yep. Any other questions? No. There's supposed to be another session. Actually, I was under the impression it was a straight hour, 6:30 to 7:30, but I believe it is a 6:30 to 7 and then a 7:30 to 8. So then if you guys can't make it back for the 7:30 to 8, I understand. I'm going to stand by and I'll be able to answer any questions and send them your way. However, we're going to hang out here and see if anyone else joins and answer any questions while we got the next almost 15 minutes. So are there any questions for the recruiters?
Sergeant Major, I got a question for you.
Okay,
I got it. I got an answer.
How the heck did you get through 20 years, man? I'm dying at 7. No, I'm just joking. It's tough, though. It is. People say time flies and everything, but it's tough. It's tough.
I will tell you that for me, in my time, the first 7 years, that 7-year time period between 7 and 10 got kind of difficult. It was a time between 7 and 10 where it was really like, I was like, wow, I gotta do it. But then once I hit 10, I knew I was there because I was halfway there and I was enjoying what I was doing. I think the biggest thing is when you get done with this recruiting and you go to another step, everything starts new again, which is always good. So you'll start fresh again and you'll be fine. I don't know though. The challenges y'all have now are different, and that's why when I talk to the cadets all the time, I tell them that they need to talk to you about the challenges because your challenges are different than the challenges I had. And I mean, I literally just retired in 2018. It's not that long ago, but the challenges are way different right now.
Definitely. Matter of fact, Ford, you've been here I think the longest out of us. How was it before COVID? Because I call myself a COVID recruiter. I got here last March when everything was shut down. So what was it like before? Was life better? Because right now it sucks.
It's better in the schools. You get to interact with the students more, presentations, just wide open lunch setups. You can't really do that now because everybody's scared of COVID, which is understandable.
I'm vaccinated.
Yeah, we used to have like different days for the recruiters to come and give their briefings in the classroom. And we would set up different days for each recruiter so they could have pretty much the whole day and brief every class. Those were the days and so that has changed dramatically. Then also the lunch setup was always good because you get to see everyone during lunchtime. So there's been some definite adjustments.
Hopefully get back to normal.
Right.
Fingers crossed.
So that leads me to a real question because this is one that I don't know because of my retirement. How has COVID affected each one of you respectively? I'll start with the Marines with your boot camp and basic training. So what kind of adjustments have been made in Marine boot camp for COVID?
All right. So where it kind of first started off was we were doing a quarantine session down in Florida for 2 weeks. And then after that quarantine session, then the upcoming Marines would be going up to Parris Island, South Carolina, and they would attend boot camp from there. About 2 months ago, that situation kicked off where now they're just going to boot camp as long as they don't test positive for COVID. We have had people get down to boot camp and then end up testing positive for COVID. So then they go into a 2-week quarantine before they can go in, and they follow on to the next platoon.
Okay. And what about the Navy?
The Navy, it's two options. If you're vaccinated, boot camp is shorter. It's 8 weeks if you're vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, it's 2 weeks longer. We do a quarantine. That's pretty much the gist of it. Everybody's wearing a mask, except for swimming, obviously. But you wear a mask and uniform, just like, like at the schools or whatnot. And that's pretty much it.
What about the Army?
So while COVID was going on, it was kind of the same as the Marines. We would quarantine them for 2 weeks, and then reception and everything would, continue basic training. Now, it's kind of like how the Navy is. If you're quarantined or not quarantined, if you're vaccinated, it's shorter. If you're not, then they're gonna quarantine you to make sure you don't bring it to anybody else and stuff like that. So yeah, they're still taking precautions. Yeah, DoD is very on top of it.
And that's a good thing because it gets to the parents and also the cadets or students concerns about safety. So it's good to know that the procedures are there, albeit a little bit different for each of the services. They're still there. What about the I have this all the time with cadets, and they ask me all the time about the different job opportunities, and I tell them there's similar jobs in each one of the services. Is that a again, I'm not a recruiter, so is that a true statement, or is there more in the Army, more in the Marines, or are they generally the same? But because the bigger force, of course, the Army would have more jobs. How does that work out? That's for anybody.
I mean, like I can't speak for the other branches, but I do know like how many jobs that we have. And like you said, we are the largest branch. So I mean, promotions might be a little bit easier for us than the other branches because like they are like so small, so it might be harder to move up in the food chain. But I think the jobs are pretty similar, sort of. I mean, of course, there's different. Like there's certain things you can do on a Navy vessel that you can't do on an Army base. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm sure there's some that require different specialties, but I think the gist of is kind of the same. Like we all have mechanics, we all have, medics, we all have, that sort of general job field, but kind of breaks down differently, I think.
Only one service can make you a Marine, though. It's only one.
I mean, okay, yeah, you got me there. I can't do a pull up, so I was like, that's not for me. That's not, nope. And now the Army got this crazy PT test now. Shoot, I'm gonna go to the airport.
Damn, it's like that.
Yeah, the new combat
We
PT
got like
test
6
is
events
difficult.
now. They going crazy.
What do you do? Yeah, speaking of PT tests, and we got time. What do you do for a PT test in the Marine Corps? I don't even know.
All right, so for the you do 2 PT tests a year that go toward your promotion. So that first one you can take anywhere in between January and June, and that PT test is going to be what you're called your PFT, so your physical fitness test. That's going to be a 3-mile run and a max set of pull-ups and a max set of crunches. So if you run a 3 miles over 27 and a half minutes, you're going to fail the PT test.
I would hope so.
You lost me at 3 miles. Like that was it for me.
What's the time again? 27?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, my chest. I don't have asthma, but I'm breathing hard. You lost me at 3,
Yeah,
man. I'll be
we got a
struggling.
question. We're ready. What's your question?
When you since Alexa's going to ROTC, let's say she goes into the Army, will she graduate boot camp as an E2 or E1?
How many years of ROTC do you have?
It'll be 4.
It's her fourth
No,
year.
3.
Yep. Big money.
Is that and that's because it's Army, but if it's Army ROTC, does the Navy and the Marines still give the same?
Absolutely.
We do.
I think it's the same for us too. Even like, so I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, I think Northern has a Air Force JROTC.
They
It's
do.
still over to us as well. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
They just expect Corretz to know more because she's been through 4 years of ROTC.
Yeah.
Any other questions? The PT test, you didn't lose me at 3 miles, but that's cool. I think you should come give me a PT test, see if I can pass. Sergeant Porter.
We could run one up at the school if you want to. We'll do one.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
I'll fail. Matter of fact, I'm on profile. We got a hand.
Sasha, you got a hand up. Go ahead.
So Austin just asked this question. Say he does 4 years ROTC at high school, goes into college before service and does ROTC in college. Does that add into his rank when he goes in, if he joins the military at that point? So
Well,
say 8 years of ROTC before he joins.
No, what's going to happen is that out of high school, he would go into the ROTC program in college at a different rank as a cadet. But then upon graduating ROTC in college for 4 years, then whatever he does, he's going to be commissioned into whatever service he's going to be in. So it'll be a commissioned officer. So then we're talking two different stratospheres as far as rank goes. You have enlisted ranks, and then you have the commissioned ranks. So he would become in as a second lieutenant in whatever service he was going to go into.
I should have known that. That's what my brother did, but it was I totally forgot about it. So thank you.
No problem. Sassa too smart to be an officer, though.
I don't know about all that now. Well, yeah, true that. You know.
I think it's going to be a tug of war between Staff Sergeant Porter and Sergeant Richardson on where Sassa goes, because he's like.
But that's my Staff Sergeant Porter. Have you heard? Did you recruit Dawson Thibodeau?
So that was actually Sergeant Tooley. He was recruited a little bit before I got there, and we let him finish out his wrestling throughout the school year, and then he ended up doing a little bit of wrestling afterward, and he actually went to boot camp a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I have his address if anyone's interested.
Yeah, his mom sent it to me. Austin and I actually came over and met with you, Sergeant Porter. We sat down.
I remember.
Yeah. He's his mom sent me his address, and we'll send him a couple of letters of encouragement, kind of thing.
Awesome.
Just don't send him any boxes of cakes and stuff in it, because the Marine Corps frowns upon that.
Yeah, but he can't have any of that yet. So we'll take care of that later.
Yeah, I was gonna wonder about that, Porter. Is it okay for me to put Army Sergeant Major on the letter I send him?
Yeah, you can do that. He's pretty physically fit. I'm sure he'll enjoy it.
Exactly. I'm gonna make sure I put Army when I make sure I put that Sergeant Major on there, so they know that he has a friend in the Army. So we're getting close to 7 p.m. I don't know if there's any more questions or anything else that's out there that we're thinking about. But as always, you can reach out to me via the person email or call me at school. A lot of your students already have my personal cell number and other ways to reach me. And then I can always link you into either one of the recruiters at any time, except for the Air Force, honestly. But everyone else, I can literally link you into like immediately via my phone. If you have any questions, I can get questions answered relatively quickly. And that's all components for the Army and also for the Marines, because they speak for each other. And then, of course, for anything dealing with the Navy, we got you covered.
Yeah, and I just want to say a really quick thank you to all of y'all for hanging with us. And so parents and students, if you guys would like to hop on to the next Google Meet sessions, those will start at 7. So if you want to take a second to find your next session that you want to go to, I believe we have a couple at 7:30 or at 7 o'clock, and we still have the Finish the FAFSA if you haven't gone to that, as well as a college application session with me if you'd like to check out what college might be like and how to do that application. So we're excited to have you guys tonight. And again, to our people serving, thank y'all so much for everything that you do and for talking with us. And I'm going to go ahead and close this at 7, or I'll keep it open, right? You'd like me to go ahead and keep it open for y'all?
No, you can close it. I mean, y'all got stuff to do. Or is it who's coming back at 7:30?
Yeah, would y'all like to come back at 7:30?
No. So anybody else? So
I'll probably be here.
okay.
Okay. Great. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close this, and maybe Miss Lipscomb could open up the next one if she's here. But we'll get you guys back open at 7:30. So if you can hang out with us, 7:30 will be the time.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all so much. We appreciate it. 7:30. Yeah, that's when we'll come back for this Google Meet. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate it. Y'all are awesome. Seriously.
See ya.
Bye.